for the sports gamer.
Hello there, sports gamers. Welcome on back into the channel. I'm Brandon Satterwhite, and again, we have a special guest for you today. Back with us again is the now two-time Madden title belt champion. He is the youngest Madden Ultimate Bowl champion and the recent winner of $250,000. It's Dez. How are you doing, man?
Good. How are you? I'm happy to be here.
Doing great. So overall, before we get into specifics, just want to talk about just how was this Ultimate Madden Bowl experience for you overall?
It was great. It was like ended up being a week-long trip in San Francisco. Got to meet a lot of my friends that, I've known for a few years online. It was just a great experience. All the people at EA are wonderful.
Yeah, and so before we get into talking about the games, I do want to talk about the fact that this was the first in-person event for the MCS in 3 years, your first one being in person. How different was it playing these in-person games as opposed to being at home online where you're more comfortable?
Yeah, it was a lot different for me personally because the whole day is kind of thrown off because you're on the EA schedule. They make you get up at a certain time. They make you eat at a certain time. They have the food there. They make you practice at a certain time, and it's different because you're all practicing in one room, and you don't want to practice in front of your opponent that you might play because they might see something that you're doing, give it a competitive advantage. So it's definitely way different compared to home, where you just wake up the day that you're playing and you just play whenever you want. You're comfortable. You go get something to eat on your own time. You shower on your own time, and you sleep in. It's all different, and you got to adapt pretty quickly.
So did the fact that you had to travel and such affect how you ended up preparing for these games?
No, I don't think so. I was the closest one to the event out of all the 8 competitors. I flew in. It was in San Francisco. I live in Southern California, so it was like a 40-minute flight compared to everyone else, coming across the country. So I don't think it did.
So now, after having experienced both the in-person and online events, which one do you think you prefer better?
That's actually a really good question. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna say online. I'm gonna say online because it's just like I play here too much. It's too comfortable. At EA, I definitely, I was definitely really good in person. Obviously, I won the whole thing in person, but online, I just feel like I'm a different animal. But in person, like so, that one game was really close. Due to nerves and stuff like that, so I'll take online.
So did you get to spend much time with the other players there at the tournament, and what was it like getting to meet a lot of them for the first time in person?
Yeah, no, we got to spend like basically all day with each other. It was really cool. These are people that I've known for like about 2 years now that I've been in the community and like been friends with. So it was cool. We went to go play basketball. We went to go out to eat. We went. We hung out all day at the EA headquarters. It was a really good experience.
All right, so now let's get into your actual games in the tournament, and we'll start with your quarterfinal game against Cole. And he was coming off a good run in the wild card, got to the semifinals. Was there anything that you were wanting to change up going into this game compared to how you had competed in previous tournaments?
Yeah. I mean, I was just coming off a loss in the wild card tournament to 88, and like I kind of needed that loss because I came off the win in Thanksgiving. I needed that loss to 88 because that's when after that I started locking back in. I was being lazy, I was being complacent, and after that I really needed that. So going into the Cole game, that's why I was really prepared, really dialed in, really wanted to win that one.
In this game, it was pretty close there in the first half. You were tied 21-17 with you leading, but then you come out and you outscore him 21 unanswered points. He does get the touchdown there at the end, but what did you do differently in the second half of that first game that allowed you to just shut him down like that?
Yeah, I had a game plan on defense going into the game, but he was tearing it up in the first half, so I kind of had to change like everything what I was doing. So second half, I was like, okay, just go scrap the game plan, go to playing Madden, just what you would do in an online game. That's what I did. I started doing a different defense. If you go watch it back, he didn't like it. Stopped him like 3 times back to back to back, and the game was just over.
And so you win that one 42-24, and now you're moving on against Kiv. And it was a much different game. It was much more low scoring. Which sort of game do you think you prefer? A high scoring shootout like your first one, or this low scoring defensive battle you had in the semis?
Definitely low scoring because I'm gonna find a way to score one time. Uh, I think that if a good example of this, of me not being good in high scoring games, would be that 88 game where I lost in the wild card, is where we couldn't stop each other, and I was just like, I'm so reliant on my defense. I feel like when I started to feel like I couldn't stop him, it was just like I was done. Mentally, I was done, and I ended up losing that one.
So you did make some mistakes in this game as well, 4 interceptions, but still able to come away with the win and move on to the finals. Did that sort of build your confidence at all, seeing how you didn't play, your best ball, but you're still able to pull off the win?
Yeah, and I think that was the turning point of why I was so confident going in versus Henry. I'm like, bro, you just threw 4 interceptions in the first half and you won the game against, probably a top 5 player of all time. In your third event, like, I mean, I was basically just telling myself, if you could throw 4 picks in a game versus a player like Young Give, I'm in a live event game and win the game. I mean, you got this. It was like my kind of speech to myself.
And so now the final was set with the matchup. I think most of us were hoping to see the top 2 seeds in the tournament between you and Henry. And Henry at this point coming off winning the wild card, his record-breaking 5th title belt, and many people saying he's the greatest Madden player of all time. What was it like knowing that there's only one guy left and it's arguably the greatest of all time standing in your way?
I think it was a sense of like pressure off me because everyone is expecting him to win for me. That's kind of what my mentality was. There was a big gap between the final four and the final. I had to wait 4 days to play him, so it was a long 4 days where I'm thinking about that game. Thinking about going up against Henry, thinking about what he's done. What type of tear he's on right now. So I try to just not think about it too much in those 4 days. Just get my preparation in and just try not to worry.
Yeah, so you did have some time there between the semis and the final game there. And last time we talked, you mentioned a lot your film study and knowing what your opponent likes to do. How intense was that film study during those few days?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really watch a lot of film on him because I kind of already knew what he was gonna do. He's been playing the same all year, and I've watched him previously, so I didn't really feel like I needed to watch him like over and over again. It was more of a mental thing for me where I didn't want to stress about the game enough. I knew what I wanted to do going in. I knew what to do going in, and that's just I just wanted to stress the least amount for this game, and it worked.
You definitely were prepared. You came out against Henry firing, got out to an early lead, forced him into turnover on downs a couple of times. You're up 17-0 at half. What's it like being in such a high pressure situation and then seeming like everything's clicking for you and going how you want it to?
Yeah, no, it felt great, especially at halftime. I'm up 17 and I'm getting the ball at half. I look over and he looks defeated, and I think that was really when the point where it wasn't even where I felt like I won. It felt like he knew that he lost, and that's kind of when the game I felt like was over. When he was out of it, that's when I was like, okay, couple more, one more score to just put him away. That's what happened.
And so at this point, you are only 10 minutes away. You start thinking about, oh, I'm about to be the ultimate Madden champ of $250,000, all these different things. So they start going through your head as well.
No, I try to not think about that like at all during half. Like I was honestly just thinking, you better not choke this. You better not choke this. You better not choke this. What the point where I knew I won? I think I was up like 10. Yeah, I was up 17-7. I had the ball. There was like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it was like first down. Clock was chewing. I'm in his own territory. I'm like, all right, bro, if you score, game's over.
Yeah, and so you do end up winning that one 24-14, and afterwards you're on the stage. You've got the belt, you've got that giant check for $250,000, confetti raining down all around you. Just what's going through your head in that moment, and how good does that feel?
Yeah, no, it was just like it's just a testament that all the hard work that I did in the in the during the season, it paid off. Like it was a long year to get to that point, and I don't think people know the work that goes into this. And I just put so much hours and put my heart and my passion into this game, and just to know it all paid off, it was just meant everything to me.
And then we get to see the moment that you have with your parents celebrating afterwards there in the studio. How much did it mean to you to have them there and have them cheering you on throughout the entire event?
Yeah, so funny story about that actually. The EA people, there was a stance in the arena, like right where we were playing. They had people watching, and they tried to get my parents in there. Like all every time I had play, I said absolutely not. So I put them in the catering room in the back, but they still followed the cameras in there. They were on the stream like the whole time. I watched it back. It was actually hilarious, but it meant everything to me. I mean, they're like so supportive of this whole thing. So them being there, that mean they were more. It seemed like they were more happy about it than me, really.
And so now you're an Ultimate Madden Bowl champion. They said on the broadcast top 5 already in career earnings in MCS history with over $500,000 earned in Madden 23. A 2-time major champion. I know the season just ended, but I mean, how are you looking forward to Madden 24 and getting to continue competing in tournaments like this?
Yeah, nah, I can't wait. I really can't wait to take a break of this game. I've been playing so much these past 5 months. It's nice to take a break. Knowing that there's no more tournaments until 7 more months. But I can't wait till the future unfolds. It's scary because this really is just the beginning. My career was the first year, so can't wait to see what I do in the future.
And you've got several months for an off season here. Before Madden 24 eventually comes around. Are there any other games that you're thinking about picking up and playing during this time, either just for fun or competitively?
Yeah, me and my friends like to play NHL, like together, like clubs. It's pretty fun. So I'm gonna play that. Other than that, probably not.
Okay.
Or in this new Harry Potter game, play that.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people are loving that right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you mentioned also you've been getting a lot of emails and DMs from schools talking about esports and signing day and such. Now that season's over, you think you're going to hit the recruiting trail and visit some of these schools?
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm trying to go on like a big college trip in the next on ski week in a few weeks. So that should be fun. I know people are like, that's like the number one question I feel like people ask me these days, because it's like a big deal now with the college esports. And like I don't know much about it because I've been so locked on that mat. But now that it's over, I can finally, go over my options, see what I'm gonna do next year.
All right, and so one final question here as we sort of wrap things up, and I'll remind everyone that they're going to be replaying the MCS Wildcard and Ultimate Madden Bowl tournaments on TBS at midnight Eastern, February 13th, 20th, and 27th. So, Des, final question. Have you ever been on TV before, and are you excited to get to rewatch yourself win it on national television this time?
Yeah, no, I mean they did it for the Thanksgiving tournament too, but I've been on the television before. My local news station did like a story on me when I won the Thanksgiving tournament, so that was cool. But being on TV is like a very underrated blessing. That's like really cool. So excited.
Well, Des, thank you so much for talking with us again. It's great to have you back on the channel. Congratulations on the win. Good luck on all of your future tournaments and endeavors and such. Before we go, let everyone know where they can find you online and such.
Okay, so on Twitter it's at Des805, 2 Z's. Twitch Des805. I don't like to get on my Instagram because it's a little personal, but yeah, just Twitch and Instagram. Those are my two main outlets for Madden. Des805. Just search me up. I should pop up. I'll be streaming during the off season. Also on TopDogMadden.com. That's where I sell my ebooks and tricks and plays.
And of course, we'll have links to all of that in the description of this video. But again, thank you all so much for watching. For all MCS news and updates, stay tuned to Sports Gamers Online. I'm Brandon Satterwhite with SGO. Thank you for watching.